Hello, everybody. We got. I think something might be. And I did not see this coming. I genuinely did not. I was like, "Is Ben gonna be?" Hi, everyone. Welcome to Frontend Horse Live. We are speaking here with Ben Holmes of the Astro team. Ben, how's it going? I can't wait to hear the audio on this.
All right, depressurizing. Hello, Earthlings. How are you?
All right, Ben.
Hope you're doing well.
I was really hoping to have you on stream today, but my understanding is you're gonna have to like lay down for a while and let your bones and everything adjust to our gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be out of it for a couple days, my friend. Also, welcome back. COVID's still a thing here, so you might want to head back to space. It's not great. But Ben,
yeah,
awesome.
We had a bad outbreak on the station.
Awesome to have you. I am so happy to have you back, buddy. Last time we had you on, you had a different job. You were not working for Astro. You were just the Slinkity guy. Just some guy slinging Slinkity.
Just some guy.
And I'm so happy for you, man. I'm happy for you and the Astro team. Like genuinely that you are able to make a framework that I'm really excited about even better because they are how many folks are over on the Astro team? I was gonna say you're a small team, but how big are you?
Yeah, it's 6 members total. We just added a new one, Erica. She's working on the language tools in VS Code.
Awesome.
Full time. I hardly understand any of the PRs, but I trust that they are good.
They're great.
So, yep, I've started a trend where I approve every PR with a pun. And I tried to review the PR, but sometimes I just jump straight to the pun and then notice things later. You know, it's easy to get ahead of yourself a little bit, but it's been so much fun.
But also priorities. You've got to prioritize, right? So absolutely, pun first, and then if the code crashes everything, it's not a big deal. Like if anyone complains, if anyone opens an issue, hey, the VS Code plugin just crashed my computer. I lost everything on my hard drive. Be like, yeah, but look at this pun. Like,
yeah,
do you see this?
Yeah.
And then they'll go, huh, okay, it was worth it. Like they'll do a little chuckle and they'll go, all right, I see why.
I think it'll be a hit. It's still a problem, but I'll try it.
That's fair.
I'll try it. I haven't been there yet. I haven't made a full mistake yet.
I love it. I mean, that we know of, right? Like, let's just, that we know of. Like,
that we know of.
Anyway.
Thanks for the caveat.
Great to have you, dude.
No one needs to know this.
Just want to say hi to everybody in chat. We got Aaron here. Austin Gill, good to see you. Walton, good to see you. Brent. We got David. David, right? Lo-Fi. I'm blanking on Gibbons. David Gibbons. Anyway. Good to have you here. Sorry, always hard to do that, like pairing the handle to the name. Try to. Alvaro, I appreciate you for coming in with capitalized _ capitalized name. Not going to get yours wrong. Great to see you though. Thrilled that you are here. Big fan of your stuff. Max here. Zane, good to see you. Walpole, red leader standing by. I love it. So you're going to keep the helmet on the whole time.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say like maybe, but I would recommend he doesn't. But
so
up to him.
Like when you're off the space station, all you want to do is just breathe. Like it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Your hair can't breathe. It gets a little warm. Get a little audio echo. But yeah, I'll keep it on for the intro.
Perfect. All right. Well, so. Now that we actually we haven't done a full intro. So yeah, I kind of said you were the Slinkity guy. Now you're on the Astro team. But can you give us a non-Alex Trost introduction to yourself? How do you see yourself?
Yeah. So I remember when I was on, and this was a while back, I was actually coming back from a flight and pushing up code at 1 a.m. because I realized, none of this will work on Windows. Of course, it's going to be a demo on Windows. Here we go. So that was fun. That was my starting journey to open source entirely. And it was also before I moved because I was, back with my parents during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then actually moved out to work at my last company on site up in the New York area now. But yeah, it feels like a lifetime away at this point. I feel like I've kind of been in the Frontend Horse community and like the Jamstack community for my life, or at least years. Definitely not like the 8 months that it's actually been. So yeah,
Oh my
it's just
God,
a
are you
whirlwind
serious? It's
of
been
a
eight
lot of stuff
months.
happening. That's it.
Oh
Yeah.
my, because
Or maybe
when you
10,
said years,
something
I
around
nodded.
there.
I'm like, yep, it's been. I mean,
Yeah,
that's because that's
years.
what it is. No.
Years.
Oh my God. All right. So I remember you joining the Frontend Horse community, and we're kind of chatting, and I checked out your Twitter. You know, like how you just follow paths. And I remember seeing you had this pinned thing where you have a whiteboard, and you're like talking about this Slinkity thing. I hadn't heard anything about it. Like Chris Coyier didn't yet put out that blog post on it or anything like that. Like I think it was kind of
Oh
like pre
yeah.
like people
Yeah.
kind of finding out about it. I'm like, that's a really cool idea. Like that's what I've been wanting in 11T. So for anyone who doesn't know what Slinkity is, can you give us a quick rundown?
Yeah, so it's not interstellar, it is not space themed, but it is a way to extend 11D projects to bring in either, compilation of SAS files if you want to add SAS to 11D, it's a really easy way to do that. And also a way to bring components into 11D. So if you wanted to use JSX as a templating language instead of Nunjucks, which I personally
Like
did,
nunchucks.
trying out it,
Yeah.
I don't either. I know there's people in the crowd that love it, and I
Lots of
just
nunchucks
can't
heads in
join them.
here.
But
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, if you
a
wanted
lot
to
of it's what
use
you learn.
Svelte, there it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not tied to a templating language, so it was easy to extend 11D and add support for everything. And then give you like fast reloading with the Vite bundler, which is also what Astro uses. I'm sure we'll dive into that. Or at least use it without even realizing it's Vite. That's kind of how
I
Vite
won't
is
even
now.
realize. You'll say it to me. You'll say that
Yeah.
that's Vite, and I'll go, huh? And I'll just kind of glaze over. But yeah, that's going to be the experience. But no, like truly, Vite is a big reason why I'm like, I've got to move over to Astro. I know other things use Vite,
Yeah.
but like there's a few things where like that's hitting really nice.
Yeah. I mean, under the hood, the secret sauce is about 20 Vite plugins. Like that's all Astro really is just hot wiring everything into the Vite flow. And Slickity was kind of the same way, where you just kind of like add a renderer, which just adds some Vite plugins to make React work. Like it seems a lot more magical than it really is. Because
so, like,
Vite in the raw is super useful. Yeah.
So it's like the infrastructure that allows all these other inventions to kind of be created and to exist. All these other frameworks and meta frameworks, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, cool. Nuxt, SvelteKit, Astro, Slinkity, just Vite on its own. Like I definitely recommend Vite over Create React App these days because you can just say, I think it's like npm create Vite, and then you can hit the React button, you can hit the TypeScript button, and then you can just use it. Yeah,
it's really cool. So what we're talking about here is, well, we were talking about Vite, but this thing that uses Vite is Astro. And so for folks who might not know what Astro is, here's kind of my like pitch on it, and I'll give this and partly giving this because you're kind of seeing this as almost like a user testing experience. So this is going to be an episode where it's going to be less you guiding me through and more like, maybe collaborating or me working through and kind of like showing where maybe things aren't as smooth yet, and we can smooth them out because you now have access to merge in things into the Astro repository. So you're just going to go wild and add a lot of puns. I'm going to point out wherever I don't laugh in a paragraph is basically what it'll be. So like
that's fair.
This page in the docs, it wasn't very funny. It was clear, not funny.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't get laughs, I'll just push to main during the session. Perfect. And I'll just tell you to refresh. Yeah, no problem. It's scary having main access. I totally haven't accidentally pushed to main ever.
But you look definitely professional. Never. Like
good.
You look like a person that I would trust with access to so that's By the way, I think the introduction is over. So if you would like,
yes,
you can de-helmet. Just wanted to give you that opportunity. But helmets are welcome here. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of comfy. It reminds me of home, but I'll take it off.
Sounds good. And while you do, I will kind of break down what I see as Astro, or what I understand Astro is, a framework that allows you to use, as you were saying with Slinkity, many different templating languages, including Astro's own, which is like kind of an interesting twist to it, where you can really build a website without pulling in anything like React or Svelte or Vue. But if you wanted to pull one of these in, you can and create components and include those in your build. But you can also bring multiple in. So for instance, I'm going to be transitioning from a Gatsby site to an Astro site. So for some of my MDX components where I have, you know, a markdown blog post and then a cool React thingamajig that does a demo and, you know, explains some kind of concept, I will want to port that over. So I'll probably either use React or Preact. But if I want to, over time, transition this site to Svelte, I don't have to rewrite every single component before I make that jump. I can just make the next component I do in Svelte. And then as time progresses, I can kind of go back and refactor some and bring them over into my new code base. I don't have to do this all or nothing jump, right? So that I love that. But then Astro also has this concept of islands architecture, or at least it uses this concept. This concept has been around pre-Astro, right? But you're leveraging it or you're bringing it into the framework, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely like the biggest push to prove islands architecture out. Like before this, I don't know of any like frameworks that really made it easy to like just slap a Svelte component on the page. I think Astro, Slinkity, and also a project in Vue called Eels are all kind of doing the same thing.
Had not heard that. Don't like it. Had not.
It's a nice framework. They kind of bootstrap the Vue template to import anything else you want in it. So that's pretty cool. But Astro invented their own language.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. But Astro's got like a cool Astro. Eels.
Yeah, Astro.
Just don't. I know.
Eels,
You got to work on the branding there. Sorry. But yeah, so with Astro, if I use React to build up my components, unless I specify, those are going to be rendered and brought down just to HTML and CSS. I can ship a site that is modeled entirely in JSX down to no JavaScript on the front end, right? So like that's kind of this unheard of thing where like even in Gatsby, where it's a static site generator, you're still hydrating in with React in every component. But in Astro, it's only when I opt in and say, hey, this has some functionality to it, keep the JavaScript in this, right? So it just makes a lot of sense because the vast majority of my Gatsby site doesn't need any interactivity. So shipping React for all of it, or shipping JavaScript to cover every single component, or hydrating over text that isn't going to change or have anything functional to it. It just makes a lot of sense. And so, I just have a lot of things that I like about Astro. Partly that you're on the team, so now I'm like, hey, let's do it. If I have any trouble, and God knows I will, and I already have, I'm gonna.
I've already been messaged.
I'm gonna ping. You've already been messaged.
We've already been through this.
Yeah. So
yeah, now we're just doing it live.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
What? Or I just wanted to call it like a little thing. Or sorry.
No, please.
I'm being all silly. But there's one thing that we don't mention on the homepage yet, but it's like SSR is a thing. I don't know if we'll dive into it. So at least to call out, like, you can generate everything dynamically now.
Yeah. So what's up with that?
What's up with that?
Can you talk about that a little bit? And where can I like show this? So it's not on the homepage. And that was the thing where like I've seen it mentioned in the CLI. I've seen it mentioned a couple places, and I kind of came down here and I'm like, I don't really need it for Frontend Horse. So I'm just gonna kind of bounce. I assumed it was like an opt-in thing, and I'm pretty sure it's behind an experimental flag. And so, I didn't really need it, so I haven't checked it out, and I wasn't sure how far along it was, if it's just completely experimental, or like if it's Wild West and it's going to break, or like, where is this in terms of progress? Is this something that like for fun sites like I can at least use? Yeah,
I mean, it says experimental right now, but I'd probably say like experimental shrug emoji, because it's
That's less clear,
it's pretty
Ben.
stable.
I don't know what that means.
All right, less clear. So I didn't write the docs, and maybe that's good. So I would say it's pretty dang stable now with how it works, but it's an all or nothing as it's set up. So you add an adapter to say, I want everything on serverless or everything on an edge function. We let you slap everything on an edge function as well.
Cool. So
which is a fun buzzword.
Edge
yes,
functions I can utilize.
That is the adapter that we have right now.
Cool.
But we could write one for like Cloudflare workers. I know that's a very popular one.
Yeah.
But
so for like edge functions are cool. My thing is like the main benefit I'm going to get there is around like internationalization or like, hey, this person hit the CDN in Italy, so I'm going to serve them Italian as default. Is that like, and then like serving up like is it A/B testing? Like there's a few specific things, but like for the most part, and please someone in chat correct me if I'm wrong, or you, for the most part, like for personal sites or for like smaller sites, edge stuff doesn't. Whoa, Joshua K. Goldberg, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. We're just chatting Astro with Ben Holmes of the Astro team. So great to have you. And Ben, 11 months. And another fantastic Ben. Thank you so much for the sub, buddy. Great to have you here. So yeah, with edge functions, it's like the big benefit about the edge is having like being able to be so close that you can see, this person's coming from this area, or I want to serve an A/B function. But Walpole already says serve the page not modified in Italy from Italy. So just the speed of server rendering is that kind of the big benefit here?
Yeah, that's definitely like the benefit that's called out. Some have gone far enough to say, I've seen some spicy takes on Twitter, that static site generation just isn't necessary once we get Edge working really stably. Which is, bold claim. But there are some like common use cases, like A/B tests are a great one. Right. Where like instead of shipping a ton of client-side code that's fetching requests from your like A/B test library, you actually just do it all on the server and you don't send any fetch requests in your client code. So no loading spinners and no waiting. You just kind of compute that really quickly. Another like solid example is authentication, as like you can quickly say, can this person access this page? No, I'm going to return a redirect, like a redirect response. So that it actually redirects server side instead of like doing a React router thing where like you pull in the information, you show a loading spinner, you realize, oh shoot, they shouldn't access this. And then you try to redirect them client side, which is a security risk as well. Because like you have a client bundle and you're like trusting the browser to know to authenticate. It's like, that's kind of scary. I'd like to do that when the person requests the page.
Right, but that part could be done in like a normal, like non-edge, right?
Non-edge, absolutely.
Yeah. I think like I've just been hearing a ton of hype around edge, like edge, and I'm like,
edge,
cool.
I'm not on serverless, but okay, I'm already moving to edge.
yeah. It's like I love serverless functions. I just personally haven't felt the like, oh, thank God, finally I can do the
X, right.
Yeah, so I think it's super cool. I think there's a lot of like good like business logistic kind of stuff. It feels like a lot of it's taking the place of middleware in a sense.
It is,
right?
At least in how Next does it. We're still exploring that. We're like right now we render on the edge basically. We're like my whole page is rendered inside of that edge function. But Next does it where it's like you kind of ping the edge handler and then you ping the serverless guy and then he serves it, which is like another cool way to do it. It's definitely one that people are exploring for like authentication, quickly authenticate someone. So like Edge is serverless, but faster for the most part, just because of where it's deployed. So like the boundary of is this serverless or Edge, I'm confused by it personally. I'm just like, I want to go on Edge if I don't get errors when I deploy. If I get errors when I deploy, I'm going to serverless. That's my boundary. That's my boundary right now.
And last thing I want to say on this, so that I know you're not coming on to talk.
The comment. I agree.
Which one? That Fuzzy's late. I mean, yeah. No, it's good.
Well, yes.
Fuzzy, good to see you. Definitely got the middleware vibe too for my 11T edge experiments. Yeah, like you kind of get that thing where like you see people who have been in the industry for a while kind of going like, we're just reinventing stuff we've had since however long, right? Like, oh, good job, you made middleware, but like I don't believe that, but at the same time, I kind of see that side of it. And then Brent says, Swick said something about cost actually being cheaper, compute times on edge functions. That's what I was going to ask, is because you said we don't need static once we're on edge, but I'm like, it feels like static's always going to be cheaper, but maybe not if edge functions are that cheap. But I feel like they would be more pricey. I don't know. Maybe just in Netlify, all of a sudden the price hike made me think that edge functions are really expensive. Maybe I'm just combining those things in my head. But I'm sorry, we are getting off of what we came here to do. But I honestly, dude, I could talk to you for hours about just probably every page in here. I probably have like 20 questions just to pick your brain. But let's just see real quick what chat's saying, just so that we don't leave anyone hanging. But I do want to get on to like, well, I guess building out or building out our project, but also touching on what you want to touch on with SSR. So Walpole says Edge is like a type of serverless. Only differences are how the provider's changing the API or providing certain features on top of it. Edge functions are just serverless functions that run in a different place. Right? Yeah. Is this named after spaceships? Astro 1. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's. I don't know if Astro is named after a specific spaceship, but for sure after space. And it's funny because Ben didn't even know that until just now, but just wears a space helmet for funsies. In the beginning. Trout, good to see you. It's not so much a reinvention, more of a relocation. Yes, good point, because middleware would run like on a server in Virginia somewhere, right? Not right outside your door, basically. But that's cool. Islands in space. What would you call islands in space?
What do you call them?
I mean, Astro, I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
Planets, yeah.
So, was there anything else you wanted to touch on with SSR in Astro? So it's closer than experimental to being production ready kind of thing. Like it's moving in that direction.
I mean, we're a month away from stable 1.0 release. So in June, the experimental flag will be gone, and you can just use it as expected. We've worked out a lot of kinks around like the Netlify deploy adapter. That's the one that I was playing around with. And hit some mild rough patches that we got past. But I just like calling it out as like, because a lot of SSGs encourage you to like fetch everything client side. Right. And slap a big Apollo library inside of your bundle. And it's like, why can't I just get the data on the server and then not send any Apollo libraries? And that's kind of a remix philosophy. That's where I've heard it shouted really loudly at first.
Yeah.
And now Astro is able to do a lot of the same things now, where you can like handle form requests and all sorts of things without doing prevent default, without doing the crazy things you used to do. That's where things get interesting. I'm sure that's not really like what Frontend Horse is trying to do, but if anything dynamic is on there about like fetch requests, this can be an interesting way to move them back to the server if you need to.
Cool. I mean, we do have a contact form, but that's been handled by Netlify Forms.
Yeah.
Just because that's just such a blessing. I don't know how anyone does simple forms in the Jamstack without that. Having to bring in like a third party thing. Anyway, but that's really, really cool. Is there anything else besides SSR that we should kind of be aware of with like going from like, I think it was like 0.2 Astro's version to 1.0? Is there anything else that's like, this is a big change besides just like a breaking change?
Yeah, we were actually on like, I think 0.25 before 1.0 hit. So if you're coming from there, we have the migration guide section. And if you're a few versions behind, you'd have to walk through a few of these. So I was actually sharing this with you. Yeah. If you want to upgrade to 1.0, it might be worth just, running the Create Astro CLI, making a new project, because we introduced integrations That's like the big new thing of like,
Yeah.
if you want to add React, you add it in a much cleaner way now. So it's cool to demo that and see how you would add new features to your project where you might have been doing it manually before. But
That
otherwise, you can just
is
copy
nice.
paste your Astro templates, and most things should be the same.
Yeah.
Most things.
Yeah, it's no, and the problem for me was I was coming from Snowpack to Vite, so like that was the big like, oof,
That's
this
a
is a
big
bit
one.
tricky. Where are the integrations? I know they're back on the home page, right here. So
Yeah.
this is really really cool, and we'll get into this I think as we start to build this out. So cool. If I kick off what is it? Is it? Okay, I guess I could click get started, but installation, run the CLI, gonna run this, right? I'm gonna create
Sure.
a new Astro project. So for anyone who tuned in on Tuesday, I did try to get like a little bit of a baseline going for when Ben came on, so it wasn't starting from scratch. We got like nothing done, honestly, just because it's me and I get distracted. I'm so much better with someone on, so thank you, Ben, just for being here. We're gonna get stuff done.
Oh yeah.
Shrug emoji. But
Yes.
but
Experimental.
yeah. So I wiped out what we did on Tuesday just because we kind of got into other things. So we're kind of starting from scratch just to keep the narrative a little more, I guess, obvious or like clear to people. So it's not like, why does he have a brand new project with like 2 new files in it? That's confusing. So just in this folder, I'm gonna run npm create Astro at latest. I think it hit enter. I'm always there. Okay, it did. Where would you like to create your app? Right here, please. It's not empty. Am I doing that wrong?
Or just try a dot.
Dot.
Let me see.
Dot's not empty.
This can happen if you have dot files like a .get folder. I've run into this before.
Yeah.
So we're working to add an option that doesn't fail if you have dot files.
It's going to go there, and that's fine. I'll just drag it out in a sec. Which app template would you like to use? So one thing that I actually did say on stream on Tuesday was I don't know what these look like, and when going back here, choose a starter template. Just the basics, blog, documentation, portfolio. I would love links here where like opinionated themes, I don't know how to go see these.
What opinions do you have? What is in it?
Yeah,
Good questions.
So, yeah, just like, oh, like this,
Yeah.
I'm kind of running a blog, so this might save me time. Can I check it out first? So that was the thing. And like, I didn't.
So
yeah,
I can at least tell you the link, but I think we should.
I found it. But
oh, you did? Okay.
That was just one thing where it was just like, okay, like I guess I'll go back here to see what they look like. No, it just tells me a little bit more of the same information. So maybe a link to, I think it was like themes, but even here I had to like scope them out from the rest.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so there's actually a better link, which is funny. So I think it's in play actually because of how it works. Start a project. Yeah,
I've been here too, and this I actually really like, by the way. Like, so for anyone out there who doesn't know, I am the lead of the developer experience team over at Prismic, and we actually will be incorporating Prismic into our site because I use it in Frontend Horse. And for anyone who also doesn't know, I run Frontend Horse, and this is a community, a blog. This stream, it's a lot of stuff.
Lifestyle.
But thank you. It's a lifestyle brand. We've been saying this for a while, folks. It's not a newsletter. It's a life. It's you breathe Frontend Horse. You don't open Frontend Horse. You don't. You.
It's a feeling.
Yeah. Eat, sleep, nay, pray. I don't know. Anyway,
eat, nay,
what we're gonna
love.
be doing? Eat, nay, love. That's it. That's it. I need to get that behind. Oh, Christopher. Christopher's here. Collab TV. I haven't seen you in so long. So great to see you. I hope you're doing so good. Hope you're doing really, really well. Astro.new. Yes, Fuzzy. Cool. Yes, but genuinely, I love this. I brought up Prismic because I'm like, can we do this, folks? Like, can we steal this? Because this is such a nice little way to just see everything at once. The Stack Blitz, just love this page. So awesome developer experience here. was just tricky coming from here where I didn't know how to see these. But we're gonna start completely empty, I think. That's
Sure.
what I want to do, because I think the just the basics one is probably for folks who haven't done an Astro project before. And this is actually my third Astro site now that I am realizing it. I've got a dinky little demo site thing that I kind of want to launch one of these days, but it has an issue on mobile, and lots of people use their phones to view websites. So I kind of feel like, and it's not just like, oh, it's suboptimal on mobile. It's that it's like almost like malware on mobile. So I want to like make sure maybe I shouldn't like promote that to the world. But that's another conversation. And I just recently moved my personal site over to it. And yeah, I'm like, all right, let's just keep going. Let's just keep rolling with it. Eat and A Love is my favorite movie. Life, good to see you. How you doing, buddy? And Alan's here. ZZ Pizza, does Astro have any idea of plans of creating integrations with monolithic enterprise CMSs like Sitecore and Crown Peak? Interesting. Yeah, I definitely don't know about those kinds of CMSs, and can't speak
Me neither.
for Astro. That would probably come more from the CMS than, I mean, at least at Prismic, that's how we're taking it. Is that like it's going to be a joint exercise or something where like like we have to at least take some charge in helping our users build with Astro, right? Like it's like the burden is kind of shared. I think a little bit.
It's a funny one because like I'm currently working on a Contentful integration. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to talk about configures here.
All right,
but all right, we're gonna
take care, everybody.
No. But it's what I've used for years, so I thought, well, if I'm gonna build something, I'll use what I know. But
100%.
yeah, it's like
no.
Because you'll notice with Astro Add, as like if it was Astro.js/Contentful or Astro.js/Prismic, we could surface it in the CLI. So you can say Astro add Prismic. Boom. You have all the helpers for Prismic. You've done it. So that's what I want to move towards, because I actually watched your video on Slice Machine and I like it a lot.
Cool.
I think it could be really neat to like put the dev server inside of Astro or something if you add the integration.
Nice.
Jumping ahead, but
so we're excited about that stuff. Lucy on my team is also like very excited for Astro, as we've been in talks. But so good question on the CMS thing. It's interesting, like whose responsibility is that? Hopefully it's a collaboration.
Some random user maybe. Just neither.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong there. Yeah, that's how we found our Gatsby developer, Angelo. He made the Gatsby Prismic integration. Anyway, shout out to Code Sandbox, Stack Blitz, and Gitpod. They really did take Astro to heart and help get it going on their online IDEs. That's good to know, because we might need to reach out to them to get something rolling there. So thank you, Fuzzy, for saying that. I've heard Astro works great with Web3 dApps. I always want to say the non thing, decentralized apps. But quick note. Is that Anthony? No.
Yeah, Anthony has signed into a work account, I think.
Got it. This is Anthony. Cool.
It was.
Anthony. And happy to see the stream still going strong. So shout out to Christopher, who is Collab TV. This stream would never have gone past like 3-4 episodes if it wasn't for Christopher. She was instrumental in making it. Just being a supportive person, being an awesome mod in the early days. So really appreciate you, Christopher. Glad you are doing well. Here, run Astro add yes. This lets you optionally add component frameworks like React. Yes. So we do want to run this, at least get the options. So just developer experience stuff, right? So like because that's once again, Chad, that's kind of what Ben asked for here, is like just kind of give feedback or whatever, like some user testing. I almost wouldn't mind if you just put me in that, because I'm used to that by now, where like I feel like if I create a new something, most things, or at least some things like Nuxt just kind of starts to give me options, or maybe I'm remembering an old version and Nuxt 3 doesn't do that anymore. I don't mind this because I can always just go nope, nope, nope. Like it's just an easy no. Where like having to read that and go, yeah, I guess so, is almost like more work than just going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Just my
There,
personal preference.
there were some challenges with like, because if you don't run npm install, then we have to run npx astro add, and some people will freak out because they don't want npx running because of enterprise reasons. I went through a lot of discussion about, because I kind of wanted that too.
Interesting.
And
No,
we can revisit it for sure.
not a deal breaker.
Maybe
I mean,
dropping
it's
you
not-
into the flow if you npm installed might make sense.
Maybe.
So we could do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm rethinking Astro at this point. It's just a small thing.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm gonna go. I'll try Preact and we'll kind of see what, like, just coming over from React. I think most of what I'm doing will work with Preact. So I'm gonna hit yes there.
I'll trust that.
We'll see. I'm gonna try to go without Tailwind. Should I do Turbo Links?
We fixed some issues, so I'm curious for you to try it.
So that's been pulled in. Those.
It has been pulled in.
All right,
Let's
cool.
try it.
Turbo Links. I would like to go to Partytown eventually. I really
I
didn't
like
mean
to
that.
go to Partytown.
I really didn't mean that at all.
I get it.
Yeah. I would eventually like to go to Partytown, maybe for vacation. I don't know. This summer, I'm kind of opening
Maybe
up a little
Funky
bit.
Town.
Well, Christopher, thank you so much for those gifted subs. I really, really appreciate it. It's super, super kind. You're just, yeah, you're excellent. I would love to catch up. Just, me and you just chatting sometime. So I don't know. I'm just happy that you're in chat. You're pretty wonderful. Not because of the subs. So I would like to go to Partytown. Can you take me to Partytown? No, I just think I'm gonna hold off for now because I don't think I ran into some errors before when I tried to use it and include plausible analytics for that fun project that I was working on. It broke. Removing it fixed it. So I just kind of said, no thanks. But sitemap feels like an essential one, honestly, that I just kind of want. So yeah, skipping Tailwind, even though the previous site is a Tailwind site. Going to be bringing in some other things to do styling, but I don't think we'll get to too much styling in this session. I don't think we need to focus on CSS, but maybe more the data pulling in operations. Initialize the Git repository. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's just do it. All right. So now I'm gonna just kind of do one of these. Is that gonna work, or is the Git repository I just initialized not gonna be pulled out? And does it matter?
Well, there's nothing really going on, so I'd say just pull it out and make a new one if you really need to.
Yeah. Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Maybe.
I'll see what happens. I mean,
Okay.
there's nothing here that's saying like something was deleted or whatever. So before the stream, I just deleted everything in that folder, and it doesn't seem like I had it version controlled there. So this should be okay. My Astro site, just deleting that. Cool. All right. So we now have this up and running. Or not up and running yet. We are going to, just all over the place. Sorry. I did shout out the CLI the other day. This is a really nice little ending thing. Like, first off, the success, you're telling me what I installed. You're showing me my choice here. And this is really nice. Next steps, cd my Astro site, npm run dev. The and might not work on PowerShell, but
we heard about that in the PR comments.
Cool.
I said, do it. So
cool.
Here we are.
And then this is really nice. Not enough things do this. This is one line that makes your entire project more accessible to new developers. I love this. So I haven't seen this much, but yeah, this is really useful. It's a little ironic because on version 20, wait, what do we have? This one might be the one where it was not closing for me and I had to roll back to a previous Astro.
Funny.
So ironically, hitting Control-C did not close the dev server. We will find out.
Let's find out.
Run.
I haven't hit this personally, but I've heard it reported.
Got it. Well, you get to see it firsthand, buddy. Is it so? I'm wondering, is it a strategy to not like, is it a retaining strategy so that devs can't leave your dev server? They can't stop using Astro. It's just like a big brain strategy. Makes sense to me. Okay, cool. So let's see. I was able to quit it. All right, so maybe.
Great. We fixed it.
Maybe it's something else. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see. But we're going to open up localhost. And just like that, we have the sickest site I have ever seen. Awesome.
Amazing.
All right. So up and running. No issues so far. Loving it. It's like why devs use Vim. It's been fixed. Thank you, Princess. And Princess is the what? Is it Erica?
Yep.
Is Princess so Princess is Erica, and Erica is the person working on the VS Code stuff, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Just trying to
nailed it.
Doing a little bit of this. All right, cool.
Do a little loop.
Great to have you here, Erica. So also I just realized like I hope I'm not like doxing them, because like, you know, if people give me their name but you gave me their name.
I've done it on every stream of mine. So
okay, good.
I mean,
well, you shout out their address and that just feels
I know
excessive.
I just give the last 4 of the social. I think that's fine. You can't do a lot with that.
That's all you really need. All right, so this gives me pretty much nothing. So maybe I should have started from something with like at least a base layout, or
yes,
something like that. And
that is the benefit. But we can make a layout very quickly.
Yes,
but yeah,
absolutely. So
that's why I like it.
Yeah. So just to kind of show chat, we've got our source, and all source shipped was this index Astro. There's nothing up here. Do you call this the head or the Astro zone? Like, what's this called?
I'm gonna call it Astro Zone now.
Astro Zone.
We've called it. I'm not. I forgot what we called it. We had because it's not front matter. That's confused people. So there's a different name for it. But it's just your server side code. It's literally like if you treat those lines as like a line you cut along with scissors, as like you just cut these lines and you give the rest to your browser.
Yeah,
like
I think the docs.
That's how I look at
it. It's like fenced off, right? Where components.
A fence. I like fence.
But like that's what Astro uses, a code fence. So okay, the component script. Nah, that's the Astro Zone. These the docs are wrong. Let me edit this page real quick. No, but that's. Yeah, so that's
so can the slice zone be in the Astro Zone?
No.
No. Separate zones. Separate zones.
Well, see, this is the code fence. What?
Yes.
You know, Fuzzy, like you wouldn't point to your backyard and say like, "That's my fence." Like the fence.
Right.
Traps. Come on.
That's my front matter.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Yeah. All right. So we are gonna get. I mean, we can either create our own, but I think you actually probably have a better or at least a thorough base layout that we can pull. Although, no, hold on, I'm just thinking. So if we go here, I'm going to create a new folder, layouts, because Emmett is so awesome and it can do it for me. Base layout dot Astro, right?
Yes.
Cool. And then let's do a little bit of that. Hit tab. And then I got that. Okay, that's pretty minimal though. I want like the meaty header, or not header, head. So I liked the pattern that Nate Moore showed when he was on here. Of also doing like a base head. Astro. At least I think that's what he showed. Or maybe that's coming from one of your blogs. I'm not sure where I'm getting it at this point. But the one where, let me see, frameworks. Where's the, here we go. So I know I'm jumping around a lot. But you gave me the wheel. You said you steer, and I'm like,
yeah, I'm not gonna say, oh, try this.
We're gonna swerve all over the place. Okay, yeah, I did find this interesting where it was just the blog post layout here, where that felt like it should be called like not blog post, if that makes sense, because
like it applies to more things,
right? But also having 2 files named blog post is a little. It's just weird when like blog post is importing blog post. It's a small complaint, and like
I hear you there.
That was a little confusing. Just not overall, but it's just like when you're referencing it here, you don't know which one you're referencing in other places. I don't know. It was a small thing. So I actually started with this one for my personal site with this example, and I renamed this to, I think I eventually like base layout, but then for the blog post, it was like blog layout or post layout or something like that. Just putting the word layout there was a little helpful. Oh, and you even have a solid JS guy contributing here. That's cool.
He's
Nice.
everywhere.
Is he? Is he prolific?
Prolific. oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's waving at me right now. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. If you slap a condition in there, that's offensive. Life. Ben, can you take a second and put that pun in the docs? You promised. That's offensive. I love it.
I'm gonna tweet it from the Astro account.
It's great. Fence matter. I've been giving the first 5 Ben Myers. Oh, it's so good. Meaty header. That's not. Nope. We're not. Nope. Cool. So where can I find a good base head? I might just go back and pilfer from my personal site, honestly. That's what I was doing the other day on stream, stealing a lot from Trostcode's Astro. So here, just to say this is a different project, folks, but I have this base head component that I import in, and it just has all the meta stuff, like all these things that you kind of need for a real site, right? Like at this point, if you're doing any kind of OG images or anything like that, you got to have these sorts of things. So I think this even has it has like a web manifest and stuff like that. So maybe I could gut some of these things, but actually, you know what? I'm gonna take the web manifest doc because that's not there. Safari pinned tab. I did bring in a few extra things to that project that I won't have here yet. So I'll cut to there. But for the most part, we have a title, we have meta title, meta description, open graph, Facebook, Twitter. And then this is a dark mode thing that stole from Josh Como and implementing here. I'd be interested to hear, I don't know, is there anything special that you need to keep in mind with Astro and like a dark mode kind of thing? Or like, is there any best practice or any like kind of integration planned? I don't know. I guess it would vary wildly on what you're using for your styles. Is that?
It could.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would also just copy a Josh Como snippet if I was asked to make a dark mode.
Yes.
But integration makes a lot of sense to me because it's just an HTML file. I mean, you don't have to worry about like React Helmet or something. So.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think there's any like special considerations to worry about.
Cool. Just checking. So removing the font from my other site for now. We'll pull in Recoleta another time. And for now, I'm just going to remove the styles because we don't really need styles just yet. I'm worried more about the data. So working with you on the data stuff would be awesome. So really front and horse. Changing some of those around and then changing this. Creative web development, sure. All right, so we have a base head, and we're going to import that. So base head's going to go actually in a components folder, I think. Yeah, because it's not really a layout. It's a component that a layout is using. Yes, I do want to move it. So now in base layout, I need to import that in my meat fence. What are we calling this?
Meat fence.
I don't know what the chat's calling it. Please, can we not call it that? So
we were told not to, actually.
Good,
that was the one call out.
No, that was the one. It was meat. Don't say meat fence. Got it.
No meat fence.
So this is Erica's excellent use of the confetti.
It just hit me that happened.
Excellent use of the confetti. Yeah. I love how I'm cracking up. Ben's just like, don't do it.
No, please.
So for this shortcut, I think it creates an extra dash for me. Like after 2, I have to remove that. So wasn't sure if that was an intentional thing or if that is.
It is a eager helper where if you just type 1 and hit enter, it'll work. But if you type 2, it's like, oh, you slow down. I've noticed that myself.
Got it. Yeah, because I'm typically, at least to start, I was going to do it myself, and then it kind of like auto completed me, but added a thing. So that was the only thing where like I was ready to do 3, and then hit enter and then do 3.
Right.
Front matter.
Right.
But yeah, small thing.
Erica mentioned that it's a, that it's a VS Code thing, and that we are aware of.
We also have auto imports inside the template, so you can just type base head and tap the import. Okay. Yes, it's an upstream issue in VS Code. Oh, that's annoying. That is annoying. This completion probably shouldn't have as a possible commit character to help. Yeah, Erica, I think if I start typing what is it, Astro Zone, then I hit enter. That'll be perfect. So just anyone types Astro Zone, hits enter. That's what you want to do for sure.
Yeah, fire emoji to submit.
Perfect.
That'd be nice.
So does this have a head in it? No, it does not. So I'm going to put it just like this. So base head. Nice. Okay.
Yes.
But interesting. So is it because
I think it's slow.
I moved it out of there, so it might have indexed it and not updated the position. But that's the default one.
Windows cache issue. Yeah. Dang it.
Yep.
It still worked though. Don't worry about it.
It did work. Cool. Now it's just asking. I have been really enjoying the props aspect of Astro. So I'm kind of glossing over some things. But basically, chat, I'm constructing a nice little layout that the rest of the pages are going to use. And I'll actually put a little slot here. So Astro uses slots, right? It's like that. And this is kind of like if you use React, this is like children. Or I think in Svelte, it's just slot. Like I think it's the same thing in Svelte, right? View, I have no idea.
It's slot.
Is it slot?
It's still a slot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I knew that. But so this is just going to be the overall layout, and I'll be able to import that and use that. So here, I love that I can use props, not props, but I can type my props over there, and here it's letting me know, you need a description, a permalink, and a title. So for that, I'm just going to do string, permalink, and title for now. I don't really care about the others for real, but I love that. Like, this is a really simple interface for someone who doesn't write TypeScript, someone who doesn't do well with typing things. This is pretty simple for me. And I really enjoy this whole thing you got going on here. So yeah, just wanted to call that out. Like, this is easy enough for me to go, okay, I can handle this. I don't have to switch my entire file over to like an astro.ts or whatever.
Right.
And I can opt into some typing, and I get the benefits of that. Like, this is a nice in between for me. Once again, someone who is rusty to the point with TypeScript, where I just say, I don't really know TypeScript that well. I used to write it, don't write it anymore. I've forgotten everything. So that part's been great for me. There's a cache issue. Got it. Another developer only sentence. Does this have a head in it? Popped in, and first thing I hear is, does this have a head? Who knows? Who knows, Aspen? Good to see you, though. How's it going? VS Code doesn't send file updates for renames or file moves, so we need to handle that manually. It seems like it doesn't work, unfortunately. TS by default. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you're using it. I think people who use the tool or who create the tools using TypeScript, thank you so much. I appreciate it. For me and my little projects, I'll get around to it, but for now, this is like a great happy medium. So now we can pull this in, and I'll just add a little. You're using the layout, so we can see the actual effects, and then can I just go ahead to go off of what Erica was saying? Just
I
had to scroll up.
Took me a second. Yeah.
I thought your was about it not importing.
I always
cool.
I assume the worst in auto imports, and it's like ours work really well. So I don't know.
Truly, like that does work really well. The caching thing is such a that's a tough one, just because that's not going to happen that much. Someone like being just a total jerk and dragging it onto components folder or whatever. But yeah, that works really well. That was really handy. And cool, we've got our base set up here. I would love to, we've got an hour left. I would love to start to pull in different parts of our data and kind of talk about that and see like how we're going to set it up. So now that we've got like just this base layout, I would love to kind of check out what we have to bring over, right? So
sure.
As I said,
also,
yeah,
there's someone at my door, but I will be back in a moment. If you don't mind.
It's the Solid.js guy, but go ahead.
It's actually, well, I've already talked to him.
Okay.
You know, just with my eyes, like, but don't worry about it.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll be back. One moment.
No worries. Let's see. There we go. It's just me. Oh no. I'm getting an echo. All right, so I'm still gonna hear the echo, but y'all won't. So at least that's something. It's really hard to talk when you hear yourself. All right, I've muted. All right. Anyway, hi. So quick overview of what we're going to be porting over to this Astro site. I just realized I have no way of telling when Ben comes back. Studio mode. Let's look at the two people. All right, now I've got at least an eye on them. It's kind of tough, and I don't think y'all can hear the echo anymore, right? Cool. So we're porting over a few different parts of Frontend Horse. We're porting over the Twitch shows, which are all coming from Prismic. So all of the data about this stuff. Oh, interesting. Weird how those come in so late. Okay, well, the background image. Interesting. That's coming in from a different spot. So maybe we have to do something in our build process to grab those and serve those locally. Anyway, each episode is a document inside of Prismic, inside of this Prismic repository. In addition to the guests and several other things. All right, Ben's back. Give me 1 second to get him set back up. Boop, boop. All right, Ben, you're back? Ben,
yep, can you hear me?
Yep, I can. And chat should be able to too. Oh, I need to show you though. There we go. There you are. All right.
There we go.
That was, I hope everything's okay. But.
Oh, it's just a package. No, we're good.
So we need to bring the shows over. So we'll be using some Prismic kits to import into our Astro project. The newsletter is an interesting one because half of it's Markdown and half of it is coming in from the review API, REVUE. Mm-hmm. So that one's going to be interesting. If we just throw it all on the page for now, that would be cool. Articles are another type of data. So these are all Markdown or MDX files that are in the Frontend Horse repository and currently have other components in there. So we need to kind of like handle that. I love one of the big reasons why I want to do Astro for this site is because of how y'all kind of have like Markdown or MDX built in, where like you handle Markdown files and the components in Markdown. Like it's a default. It's not like an additional thing I have to install. That's just how it works.
It just is there. Yeah, it's like the way you import components is a little different, where you write the word setup and then all of your component imports. Yep. But otherwise, you should be able to copy some MDX and paste it in as is, and it should work pretty well.
Yeah, really, really interesting. So using components in Markdown, so what Ben's talking about, setup, import author from, and you can mix where like this is an Astro component and this is a React component, and you just use them in there in line with the rest of your Markdown. And then even in non-Markdown files, you can write Markdown because of the Markdown component, right?
Yeah, so
or not.
We might be moving the Markdown component to an add-on that you can use if you aren't using SSR.
Okay.
So it's more limited because of some issues we were hitting with SSR. So we recommend writing in Markdown files and importing them as components,
Got it.
but it still exists. It's not that it will be completely gone. It's that it'll be an installable package. So
Cool.
yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean,
Some people
I'm
love
not
it
using this,
and they want to keep
but
using it. Yeah.
it seems cool, but like I'm not using this, but it's just neat how you've got really friendly Astro's is very friendly to Markdown, so I appreciate that. And then Discord, that this just links off to our community. Eventually, we'll have a community page, and then that's just a contact form. So we've just got a few things that we need to bring over into our Astro site in terms of our data. Where should we start, do you think? We've got Prismic, we've got Markdown and review. The review is going to be just like hitting an API. Let's actually hold off on that, I think, because one thing about review that drives me nuts, I got like a bunch of stuff. And by the way, I'm talking about this REVUE, this one, get review. So this was bought by Twitter, and that's the reason I use it, because it integrates well with Twitter. That means Elon owns this. Anyway, anyway. So one of the things that they do is they put your unchangeable token, your API token, at the bottom of your page. So if you're streaming and you scroll down to the bottom of like your settings page or whatever it is, it's just like API token. And it's like, don't show anyone. And it's like, oh, and you can like create. And it's wildly not thought through. Review, I have so many problems with you. Call me.
The review.
Markdown files or MDX. Which do you want to hit, or which shall we try?
There's many avenues. Did you want to do more data stuff or more like let's style a homepage? Because both of them
more
are like,
data stuff for sure.
Data stuff. All right. Yeah. So we could try Prismic.
Yeah, let's
see how that goes. That's my own curiosity of like, what does it feel like to use Prisma with no helpers? Like, is it just clean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so
because I've considered like, do we need to create a Prismic integration to make Prismic easier, or is it already so simple with ESM that we can just do it?
Yeah, I think an integration for certain things like rich text is always something where you're going to want to have something to handle that. Right, like because rich text doesn't come over the wire as like an HTML blob. It's going to come in as an object, and we can kind of look at it once we get set up here. But let's go ahead and create a Prismic io.js file, and from here, thinking we can go ahead and borrow some things. So right now, the Prismic vanilla JavaScript docs, we have been focusing our attention elsewhere, but these can get a little confusing, and I'm looking to get these updated because it kind of scares you away from like, here's the vanilla JavaScript docs, don't build with these. But really what this means is don't try to make like a legit Prismic app with just vanilla JavaScript and not a framework, right? So like with Astro, we're going to be using the vanilla JavaScript kit because we don't want to use the React kit or the Vue kit. So we're going to use this, but it's saying like if you're not using Astro or Remix or something like that, don't try to make like a real full site with this and then come back and say, hey, how do I do SSR with Prismic and my HTML JavaScript thing? It's like you lean on a framework is kind of what we're trying to say. I think we're not clear yet with it. But with, I think it was the React docs that I was looking at in terms of like a good example for setting up Prismic. Even though it's the React docs, I think we can. Oh wait, I didn't mean to click Next.js. Sorry. Install Prismic. Cool. So from here, we're not going to install React. We're going to install Prismic helpers to kind of help us out with a couple things here. I'm going to close that and set up Prismic, because here this kind of touches more on Node, I think, than anything else, and like actually just doing it in like inside script tags and stuff. You see what I mean? Where it's like this isn't the best way to go about something. So we're trying to handle that use case, but also saying you really shouldn't be doing that, buddy. So that's kind of that trade-off here. An integration to destructure and cache the results would be beneficial. Yes. Yeah, that's another question I have actually, and had before, and I don't think anything's changed with it, but I think you're planning on something where on every page, and maybe we'll get into this soon, but like a global store where I'm not fetching my menu on every single page, right? Where instead,
Right.
like if I have this menu that I'm going to be fetching from Prismic or from somewhere, I don't have to make 30 requests for 30 pages to get the same piece of information, but I can somehow tell Astro, hey, this is the menu, just hang on to it, and I'll come back and ask you for it later, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, if it's all like, if you put all of your data fetchers inside of the fence, whatever you want to call it, like those will be run during a static build. So they will all just exist. Like you don't have to make any requests for them once you've actually built your site.
Right.
But it will mean that when you build your site, you make the same request on every page. So there is that.
Not the worst thing in the world, but it just feels excessive, or I don't know.
Sure.
But not a huge deal. So we're going to install at prismic.io/client and @/helpers. Cool. So the client is going to allow us to fetch our data nice and easy, and then the helpers are what is going to help us output it, and kind of take that data and bring it into the world like a beautiful baby boy or girl or whatever.
Put it in HTML.
Yeah, basically.
Take out that JSON.
So like with templating content, just seeing how we're doing this. Honestly, I'm doing a little bit of reverse. So you're looking for some user testing. I'm kind of user testing this in reverse, I think, at this point. But for fetching data, there we go. We've got this set up here. Got our endpoint. We've got our routes. Cool. So I'm going to grab this. This is something that we can potentially use. So in this Prismic file, we've got, we're importing from client, and we're pulling in prismic.createClient. We are using an endpoint that we don't have yet. So your repo name, actually, this goes back to some of the old times. Did you come on for the game show thing that we were doing on stream a while ago?
Game show?
So I don't think for a while, we were just, well, we weren't just, but we were on Saturdays playing video games with developers. So it was this one game called Ultimate Chicken Horse. The name was just kind of a blessing, but it was really fun because it's a really good game for every like skill level. So people can come in. It's just like a couple buttons. But anyway, that's why it's called Frontend Horse Plays, because this was just originally going to be the repository for that. And then it kind of just spread where, the guests that were on that are now on other things. So I might as well just put it in this repository and not start a new one. And so, it's been Frontend Horse Plays ever since. We don't need an access token, so that's good. I'm going to get rid of that and remove that part. Because with Prismic, you can lock your repository down, so it's secure. But for this, we don't need it. And routes, you can keep this. We don't have to worry about this too much because none of our data is like linking. So like that's if you have like a home page that in the rich text you link to your about page, this is what's going to handle that aspect of it where you want to transform that in your rich text markup. But we don't need to worry about that. We're going to export client from here. Let's go export client. Is that wrong? Am I doing that wrong?
Export. Okay, so just export const client. That should work on line 12.
Oh, didn't mean to do that. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I always I tend to have to do a guess and check with some orders of things. So if it's like const, function, async,
oh my god,
those, and then export, and then const, export, default, async, function name, like when it starts to get to that,
I
goes before that one,
know.
sort of thing. I don't
I
know.
started using the word function again, just because writing arrow functions with async is just my brain doesn't like it.
I've been doing that a lot more too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should be okay here. That was the best time. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Yeah, so Christopher was on, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, and Christopher was just also very involved in like moderating and hanging out in the community. So it was a good time. And integration and destructure, yeah, we got that part. Cool. So now let's import this into a page. Let's see about or how would we go about this? Like should we have a file of specific, like a lib file where we are importing these, where we're making these calls to Prismic and then just importing that function? I think that's what I'm doing on Happy Clicks, that other project. And I kind of live my life by going back and looking at old projects. So if you excuse me,
It's the only way to live.
It's a lot easier than like remembering things or being good at stuff. It's just like
Having a brain.
yeah, I did this once, right? That's what I want to do.
I think you lost your camera there.
Oh no,
I know. Is it the overheat?
It's probably the overheat. It's pretty warm in here. Let me figure this out real quick. But thank you for the heads up there. I'm gonna turn my fan on. Maybe open a window. It's 60. Yeah, it's getting. Give me 2 seconds. I want to turn my air conditioning on. I haven't turned it on yet this year, so it's a new thing for me. 1 sec.
Same here. Finally put on my fan. Well, how's it going, chat? It's kind of my stream now. Doing good? Feeling all right? Enjoying the Frontend Horse lifestyle? Me too. Thanks for the response.
All right, my sincere apologies about leaving you in the
Whiteboard
lurch.
gang, thanks.
I hope chat was kind.
They were kind.
Oh my god, yeah. Walpole, we haven't seen the whiteboard yet. What is but like, so
it's around
like a Ben Holmes.
Didn't have time to write like I meant to draw a horse. I didn't find time to draw the horse.
All good.
Every stream I'm on, I try to draw something. This is just shameless promotion for my other stream that I'll be doing at 2 p.m. today.
I mean, wow, you didn't have to make me feel like garbage saying every stream I'm on, everything I've ever done with anyone important, I've taken the time to draw this.
That is 3 times total. So it's still a lot.
We are good. So here, this is Happy Clicks. This is that site I was talking about.
Right.
And here, I'm pulling in Prismic client and using it here. So maybe we just do a Prismic file like this, and honestly just kind of use the same thing. So this was my solution to not having to constantly get the Prismic posts as I'm going through. So this is a function that is called in several parts where it gets all posts. And I first check to make sure that we don't have that cached already kind of globally in this file as I'm building out everything, so I don't have to go and make that call and it doesn't slow my build down. That was my solution there. And I think it's actually not even my solution. I think who's the like CEO of Astro or
Fred.
Fred. Yeah, I think Fred in the chat actually said that he recommended that. So I've been doing that, and that's been working great here. So basically, just having to lean on that and return those throughout the build has been really nice. So nice. Yeah, I kind of like this pattern where we can just do Prismic in here in this one spot. I'm pulling in a Supabase function just because it ties in a little bit somewhere. But for the most part, let's go ahead and copy this pattern over. So like we kind of said, it's a little bit, not Wild West, but a little bit just... We're finding best practices as we go because there haven't been a lot of Prismic Astro sites yet, right? So I'm trying to see how that goes. And let me actually work on this part where we're starting to bring files over. So yeah, let's copy this over. I'm going to do that. And kind of go from here. Link resolver, we can leave this. That's fine. And change the API endpoint. We're going to change this over to Frontend Horse plays. We can get rid of Lodash. We can get rid of Slugify. And wait, this isn't using Prismic create client. There we go. Shoot, I might have taken, this might be using an older version of the client now that I'm thinking about it. So maybe this isn't the best way to go. Sorry for going forward and backwards. I think we should be okay here, and then export cons client. And then in here, we can look at this for an example for how we can also export an async function like get all posts. So I'm going to grab this and go async function get all shows. And from that, we can, I guess cons, that looks pretty good, but let's make sure the client actually has, do I not have client yet? Why is it not helping me out?
I'm wondering if it's because you exported. I'm wondering about that. So if you remove the word export, does it help you?
That's what I'm wondering too. No.
Routes. Yes.
There we go. So I had to hit control space to open it up. That's weird. VS Code is a little finicky that way sometimes.
I know. I've had that too.
Yeah, we're just like help, please help. Get all by type, and I don't think it's show. I think it's like CC show. But good guess to my whatchamacallit, to my Copilot. I appreciate it. CC episode. There it is. And that one's another legacy name because there used to be component carousel episodes, and then that expanded. So component carousel episode, now we have everything. So if we just go ahead and kind of just want to console log that out, but we'll see. I don't think we have results anymore. I think it's just going to do response. Kind of want to console log that and just call this over in index, right? So I can just go ahead and import that function. No, not use state from React, but good guess. Get all shows from, where is that? That is, pull it into source. I kind of like it there, but might put it in like a lib or something, but that's just where I've been. I got to go up one level. All right. So we've got that, and I want to just call that. So get all shows and just see how that goes, honestly. I don't know. Do you see any?
Yeah, you might need to await. Just guessing. I don't know. Do you?
Here?
I actually missed that.
I think only if I'm doing something with the data. I think just calling it is fine. And
got it.
But something broke. Maybe, though. You might be right. Error, unknown type, declared type page, selected one of, waiting messages event, CC episode. Oh, okay. So I gave it the wrong. So I followed the API wrong. So that's from our client throwing a really helpful error message. Good job,
I love
team.
that it tells you.
Good job.
These are your
team.
models.
Yeah.
Because Contentful's just like, I don't know, man. What are you trying to do?
Well, I was actually going off of Copilot there. Copilot's just like show, and it's like, nope, that's not what.
Right.
That's not what this wants. So it wants get all by type, document type string. I don't know. That looks like what it's expecting. No. Get all by type. The params should be optional, so I feel like let's try. Oh nope. CC episode again, but let's first look at the client docs just to double check this. REST API. Oh no, wait. We want the technical reference. Technical reference. REST API client technical reference. Cool. So not migration guide, but we want query methods. Get all by type. Yeah. So page, and then this is optional stuff. I'm gonna try that one more time. Am I sure that this is the right one? Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
maybe
that did work. What's up?
if you restart the server in case it was trying to run it with the previous endpoint, because you changed the endpoint to Frontend Horse plays. I may have missed something.
Yeah.
Okay, same issue. No, that's what. That's odd.
Interesting. But link resolver. Oh. The link resolver error. Okay, got it.
Oh, it's the routes.
Yeah, it's this.
Yeah, it doesn't know what any of these are.
Type. No, it doesn't. I didn't think it would check it, to be honest. I never thought they'd check my homework. Can I just do?
Yeah, just remove it from create client, right?
Yeah, probably. I genuinely. Yeah, I'm hoping that's optional. Let's see. Let's check. It's typed. Is it optional? Yeah, options are optional. Cool. We just need the endpoint. Dope. All right. Now we should be able to run it. Really helpful error logs, team. Well done. I didn't write any of those, so I'm always thrilled when that stuff works, because and there's our data, and I did that part. I did that part. I did an alt click. Yep, there we go. That's me. So we're getting our data in. I would love to see the structure of it though. Is it just coming in as an array? Let's go. I think it's just coming in as an array. Where is our thing? Return response or response? No, it's going to be coming in as an object. I just want to. How's it? What's an easy way to see this massive object in the shape that it has?
This is something I feel like I don't know. As an array. I definitely want to add like built-in type generation to. If an integration was made, like, man. I like not console logging, but
yeah,
maybe Prismic gives you a type for a generic entry. Yes, or is that asking too much? Because things.
Well, so with Prismic, like I pretty much have decided everything in here inside this data object, where the rest of this is pretty much Prismic standard, right? Like first, like I didn't have to go in and create these things.
Yeah.
But the data, I said exactly to Prismic, this is what the shape of this is. So that part is pretty standard. Great, but it's working, and we can go ahead in our index. And now that we have all shows, and now we would have to do an await, right? Const episodes. Probably I've got to ditch the shows episodes thing. I keep oscillating back and forth. Just pick one. Const shows equals await. And then is that just now a variable that I can use anywhere?
Try it.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Yes.
Cool.
Yes, it is.
I really do love this sometimes. All right.
Oh, you don't need a key. I can call that out.
Oh yeah, because it's not going to move, right? Like that's the big reason why React
is
needs
literally server rendered. Like how could it
move? That's a good point. And I'll just pop these in, and cool. It's ending. Great. I do like Copilot for this quick stuff, but I do need to go back and kind of format or massage that a little bit. So I do not want to return just the response. So response or const formatted response equals response.map return. Yeah, what you got for me? All right, let's see what like. I really do enjoy Copilot. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. There we go. UID, cool. What else do we need here? Tags. We're gonna want some tags. So let's get the UID. Let's get the tags. Let's actually pull this off to the side. We can look at it that way. So you're gonna say UID. Show.UID. Tags equals show.tags. Title. Look at that. How does it? How do you know that?
How do you know that?
How are you so smart? Maybe because I've done
Show
it
me
somewhere else. Description doesn't have that. That's not a thing. You don't know anything. It's the worst thing ever. Actually, no. You know what? We're just gonna go and data.
Nice.
Because the data is like all the good stuff that I want. Nope, you got to go then parentheses, right? Nope, one more and then parentheses.
And then yeah.
Nailed it. Perfect. All right. Is there anything else that I need here? Data pretty much has all my good stuff, and that's it. So I just need the UID, the tags. Slugs is the same as UID, so that's fine. And yeah, we're good to go. So now I got formatted response, and I'm going to return that instead. And with formatted response, I should have title, and then let's say guest dot. I'm just going to go with slug first because I don't have the rest, but slug. Because it's a linked document, so I don't have access to that without requesting it specifically. But for now, that is good enough to maybe show something. If the server was running. Is it running? It's running. Reference error, data is not defined.
Oh, yeah, we didn't.
Data. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone might have caught that in. Ben! I'm so sorry, Ben. If you rated a while ago, I appreciate it, and I apologize. I appreciate. Great to have you here. How's everybody doing? Ben, what were you working on? I got to give you a quick shout out. I love this shout out thing that Ben Myers built. Well, it's the Frontend Horse bot, but I love this.
Oh, it's part of that. Okay.
Yeah, I love this. If Ben Holmes, if you're not already using the bot that Ben Myers built, highly recommend you get it up and running. Obsidian, I think, two awesome tools. Excalidraw is really cool. I'd be curious to see what you were doing in Excalidraw, because it's always my I've got to quick throw a thing down. Like, I haven't used it deeply. Like, I've never done a thing for more than 5-10 minutes in it. So I'm really curious what you got into implementing those two together. They're integrated now. Is that a plugin, Ben, or is that like an official? Because I know like you could probably have like a Twitch stream through Obsidian with the right plugin, but I don't know. That's really interesting. Integrate your Obsidian notes in your draw. It's a plugin. Cool.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I have more to play with now.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sorry, like my brain's kind of going there. I saw Notion and Figma have a good integration now, so like I've been kind of tweaking with that. But I do need to get back to Obsidian a bit. I've been getting deep into Notion lately, and that's been fun. But
yeah, because I like drawing. I wonder if there's another way, like the other way around, where I can embed drawings in my Obsidian stuff.
Can you embed
that's like
whiteboards yet? Is that a thing that we can do?
There's no whiteboard integration. But I mean, it's kind of serious though, where I like just drawing graphs while like reading a book or something, because like I don't want to type notes while reading a book. I just want to draw some bubbles as like I learned this from this chapter, 5 words, and
that's exactly what makes me like want to get an iPad, is like that kind of like physical.
That's the only reason I use mine. I use it like 10 minutes a day, if
really
ever.
Yeah, see, like that's what I'm worried about.
I've just had it forever.
Like 10 minutes a week or something. Well, I have like an iPad too. It doesn't really stand up anymore. It doesn't really work.
Oh yeah, that's an old one. Oh boy,
it's pretty.
They just work forever though, so it's like why?
Yeah, but they stop. Like you can't get any apps on it. It's just.
Sure.
Fine. So
yeah, you need the pencil for it to be nice.
Right. I don't have a pencil, so I'm just. Yeah, I'm either using. Remember the old rubber ones? That's not.
Oh no.
Yeah,
they rubbed off on my screen too. It's brutal. Wacom tablet. That is.
Burke.
I tried a Wacom tablet, but there's a disconnect between like you're looking at what you're drawing, but you're not. Like you're drawing on a pad, but it's controlling the desktop. So I'm like, where am I? This doesn't feel right. I don't know. You probably get used to it. I know a bunch of people are, but yeah.
I do like the one-to-one. I know exactly where I'm drawing kind of thing. That part's nice. Ben, it's part of your Galaxy Brain graph. It integrates. So like if I type something in Excalidraw, Obsidian can pick up on that, and like I can do like the bracket thing in the Excalidraw note, and that becomes part of that brain graph, and like they're kind of integrated like deep. It's not just like an embed where it's like, hey, you can like embed a YouTube video, but it's like the Obsidian knows about the content. Is that right? Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm very excited in Astro still. That's a really cool thing. I feel like I'm doing the I'm walking with you and Obsidian and Excalidraw meme, right? Like,
yeah,
classic.
Squirrel.
Yeah. Cool. So we are, I didn't say it out loud, but we have got our data in. We've logged it, or not logged it, but we've got it outputting here.
Ship
we
it.
can actually bring that part over to a like a shows page. And so if I create a new folder, actually, I think, because let me see what the URL is here, where Twitch shows. Okay, it's just / shows. But then if I go into an episode like this one, that goes to /episode. Don't ask me why.
That's actually kind of
this
funny.
has been my mess for a year now. So yep, that's just a nightmare. But then past episodes, if you go to like view more episodes, it's episodes. God, is that just? I don't know why I. I don't know. Anyway,
mm,
it's perfect. Nothing's wrong with it. It's perfect.
yeah, I would change nothing.
Nope, change nothing about it.
Nope.
Yeah, honestly, Astro and Prismic, not. Yeah, it just works. You just use the client, just call for your stuff, and I think the only thing that we're gonna have to see is the rich text. I don't use a lot of rich text in the shows page, but I'd be interested to see how that works. The other part where it's a little tricky, actually no, Prismic makes that part easy. Prismic has an image CDN. We use Imagix, so you don't have to worry about any kind of image stuff. You just do it in the
Nice.
URL params. So
Nice.
taken care of there. Where for chat, there's not like one set way of doing images, like optimized images yet with Astro. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So
It's
with
heavy on our minds. Heavy.
Yeah, I'm sure. But with Prismic, it's really nice because those images coming in, I can just put it like hard code it into the URL or do something with it. We actually have a couple of helper functions that let you pass Imagix params, very similar to Cloudinary if people are familiar with that. And yeah, it's a really nice way to not worry about having to process images or figure out some kind of other thing. But I have some local images that need to be transformed, so we still have that issue. But yeah, Astro, Andre, good to see you. Astro IX image, shout out to Read Only Child, Astro Image Tools. Got it. Yeah, so some of our stuff's going to be coming from Imagix or like
Yes.
leveraging Imagix. Others will be local.
And to explain, read only child is the Discord tag of a member in our Discord community.
I
It is
figured.
not. Yeah. No, it took me a second. So I wanted
okay.
to clarify that.
Got it.
But yeah, both those tools exist.
Cool.
They're pretty good.
Cool. Okay, so for dynamic pages, how do we do that? Oh, you guys do the right? You've taken the Next.js approach?
We have.
Or that format? Love it. I mean, as someone who writes a lot.
Probably
not Astro. Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that though. You can make a UID.js and it can be like just serve up a bunch of JSON files or something. If you want to go funky.
It's cool how many options you have with this. And by this, I mean Astro. Just, yeah, it's almost, it's surprising how flexible it is. And because usually when something's that flexible, like it's brittle in that way where like if something's rigid, like they can like Next is flexible, but also very rigid in certain ways where like they're enforcing the image component that you use and lots of other things like you link with this component, nothing else. Like you have
a
to
link
use
component with an A tag inside of it.
Not
I'm
anymore.
sorry, I will
Not
never.
anymore.
What?
Yep.
They switched it back.
Yes. Well, or they are going to. I'm not sure if it's done, but yeah, they're getting rid of that, and they're, it's just makes sense, right? It just makes sense, or at least it
always
makes sense
did
the other way to me.
I left Next.js right around when that happened, and I was like, well, I made the choice.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
like
the line.
A couple weeks ago, they did that. I'll go fix the front matter completion. Oh yeah, Erica, it's definitely not a deal breaker at all. So all good.
Just watching it be used.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I get that part of like, oh no, but for me, it's just as an extra backspace. Walpole says, I finally have a client project that Prismic would be great for. It's also making me want to do Astro too. Entirely new stack for production site. What could go wrong? Nothing. Nothing could go wrong. You just have to learn a few things. But if you need any assistance with that or have any questions, I am happy to help. And there's a few people on the Astro team who have used Prismic with it. Nate more specifically, and he might have better information than I do. So where was my brain going? We have an episode. Okay, so
we're gonna make an episode
here.
page.
Yeah, so we have episode blasting off to Astro 1.0. So here we're gonna want to get this. No, see, like I love it until it starts to do that, and I'm like, It's like someone who finishes your sentences, and you're like, please, I'm trying to get a thought out, right? Get this UID, and then stop, don't do that.
More fences?
Yep.
You wanted more fences.
You liked fences. Our AI says that this person writes a lot of fences. And then we want to fetch the episode and the guest. Sure, yeah, just stop. All right, so that is our episode UID, and then we have dynamic stuff over here. I mean, like it should talk about dynamic pages, I think, in here. No, it doesn't look like it. Is that, I'm gonna go ahead. Nice, routing. All right, so we got the bracket, and how do I get that off of it? You generate routes with a named parameter by providing your getStaticPaths function the values to use, like so. All right, so I need to use getStaticPaths like next once again to tell it, based on this UID, here's what you need to do, or right, like in terms of what it's expecting. You see, routes can be generated from multiple named parameters, any level of the file path. Cool. And then getStaticPaths is just going to, yeah, so I'll get into it. Params, so instead of dog, or, sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out. Params is a standard thing, right? That's not going to be, I'm just trying to figure out which one's the one in the brackets, because like I need to figure out which one to swap out UID for. I think it's dog. And I know you know the answer, but I'm trying to give you a little bit of that user testing that you came.
No, actually, dog is the standard one.
Oh,
yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah, you can only render dogs. It's
perfect.
I filed an issue. I'm surprised it's that limited. Yeah.
So with that, we're not actually going to like hard code this because we want it to be episodes, but for this, it's going to be like UID blasting off with Astro 1.0. And so for this, we're going to want to try to think of how to get the data. I think this should be okay. If I fetch data ahead of time, I'm just wondering if this getStaticPaths, is it like any kind of magical function that needs to run first, or do I want to do the call inside this for my data? Is kind of what I'm trying to figure out, or just above it? I'm guessing inside of it because we're exporting it and it kind of needs to be bundled in. So I'm going to do my fetch call here. So call for all episodes. Actually, I don't need to comment that out or comment that. I can just go ahead and do it because I have that function already. Import get all shows? Yeah, there we go. From, that was weird. Yeah, it just added an extra bracket somewhere. Get all shows. So shows equals await. Like I would like to do that here so that I can work off of it, but that's fine.
Export async function.
What?
Yeah, it's async function. Yep.
Is it in the docs? Oh, did I copy it wrong?
No, that's just how JavaScript works, but it should be in the docs. I agree.
Got it. No,
it should be in the docs because you're used to top level await.
Yeah,
so now it's like, I don't even think of that.
Yeah, right. It didn't even occur to me. Thank you for the catch. Appreciate it. I love that you felt like you had to like not let the chat know you were helping me. Like,
well, it's like, I don't want to get stuck on that.
Oh, good. No, I mean, it's good call. Good catch. So shows await. What were we doing? So now I need to return an array where it's an array of objects with params. So I'm going to go const. Look at this. Look at this. It's just brilliant. You're just brilliant.
Sure.
Show, and then we just need to
Oh my
return
god.
an object with params. Like, this is why I'm not good at anything anymore, because it's just it's just smarter than I am. Not show ID, but UID. And yeah, I don't need to learn stuff. Okay,
It even knows how many closing curlies
Copilot.
you need.
That's honestly been the best aspect of this whole thing. So now that's going to return paths, and so that should work and give me all of the, like, it should return all the paths for all the episodes. But now how do I get those into my app like this? So the astro.params file. So I'm going to go down here, and that's UID. I can just console log UID. So this should work if, I don't know, I'm going to try it. So that's episode / and I will use the one that we are on right now. Blasting off with Astro 1.
And it's a console, so.
Yeah. Y'all. Cool. So, but if I break it, it should yell at me. Cool. Awesome. So it is working. Yep. But 1-0 did work, and it did show up. Nice. So now do I fetch that data again, or should I put the whole episode? No. Do I just go ahead and fetch that data again? So I got the UID, then I fetch for that UID, right? That's how we do it?
So you didn't, the docs didn't highlight it enough.
Okay.
Where alongside params, you can also put props. So when you're doing get static paths, you can say props and then all of the other show information.
Cool. Nice. Okay, that's really handy. So next to param, same level. So props, and then I can just kind of go, I can format. Oh, no. So I am getting, so to show.
Mm-hmm. You can do that, yeah.
I can do whatever I want here. So then, and then what I pull off, but that's on astro.props. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. So let me, const props equals astro.props. That Astro thing is a little bit magical. I do like it, but it's also like, I forget about it because I'm not importing it or doing, like, I don't I don't have a good mental model around it, I think is not my issue, but like my kind of like,
Yeah.
It's cool that
I'd say
get static
paths is probably the hardest, just like thing to get spun up on. I get tripped up on the nested objects myself, where like you have function code that generates the pages and pulls information for an individual page in the same file. And it's like my brain is in two modes right now. I don't want to see both of these at the same time. Right. So that's my thing. And it's kind of just a consequence of how it works. We modeled Next.js where I thought it was just as a little awkward to learn at first. But yeah, I'm not sure if I've seen like a better way. But the docs could use improvement on like mentioning props. I noticed that you ended up on our API reference page instead of, I think we have a guide for dynamic routes as well, but we have 2 entry points, so it's easy to fall into one over the other.
Yeah, and I think I just went like this. I just typed in dynamic. I went, routing. That's what I want. Whatever.
Yeah, it looks right. But it's like API reference is more of like, here's each individual key, and a guide is more like, you've never seen this before. Let me show you something.
Absolutely. So, I wasn't sure. Yeah, so like I went to pages, didn't see it here. I guess. Yeah,
surprising it isn't. I'm actually not sure if we put it on learn. If we don't, then that's a crime. Because it should be. Yeah, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just an API reference. I don't know.
Not sure where to find. Yeah. So either way,
there you go.
Not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, glad me stumbling through is proving helpful for something.
Oh yeah.
So here we can at least show the, what is it? We got the title. We can show the title, and we can show, so intro text. Let's try to render out some
nice.
Text. So you can see here, this is the way that Prismic sends you rich text, right? So if there was any bold in here, the string would, so like if I wanted to bold the phrase Frontend Horse, the string would stop here. The array would have a new object, right? And it would go on and like type bold or whatever, and it would, yeah. So it's an interesting way to do it. Or actually, I think it might, and I don't know because I never do this by hand, but I think I actually might put one in a span, or fill something in there. But anyway, you've got to have something to process this, and we have helpers for that. So let's actually get that intro text in there as well. So I'm actually going to pull off intro text, title, and then I think that's it for now. We'll get guests later because we're not even getting your full name. It's just the slug for like your thing. We have to make another request or tell it in this request that we also want that. We can do that later. So that looks good. Get intro text and title. Now, actually, one thing that's cool about Astro is I can just do an object here, right? Like I can just do intro text, and you'll render the object, or will you yell at me? Well,
if it's an object,
the shrug told me no. The shrug tells me no, but let's find out.
I don't think this works, but maybe. I think you got a JSON stringify, but let's find out.
Let's see. Maybe I'm thinking of Vue or Svelte or anything else. I don't know. But yeah, so cannot do that. That's fine. That's
your console log. It's just the console log.
Oh, good call. All right, so do that. Boop. Okay, it just does that. That's fine. That would break in React, right? So at least it's not breaking.
I think it does the same thing, actually. Okay. I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just autopilot JSON stringify intro text null 2. Like I just know it.
Yeah. Okay, getting rid of that, but let's see about the helpers. Let's go to the Prismic docs for that. I don't often use the last time I did like a render to regular HTML, because I'm always working in React of some sort, either Next or Gatsby or something. So I honestly haven't done much rendering to HTML. So let's see, Prismic as HTML, as text, as image. Yeah, so I think
I'd love to try the React one and see what the heck happens. But if it's too hard, let's just do HTML, because it should work, all right? And it won't ship any JavaScript because you didn't ask for it.
Oh shoot! Whoa! My brain just broke a little bit. We might have to install React and not Preact. I don't know if our kit is Preact friendly, but that's one thing to test. Let's actually go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and install. Does it have the thing here? Yeah. Client helpers. Yeah, we already got those. So yeah, let's actually try that.
I'm derailing hard, but
I never thought of that. That's really cool. So, nope. Astro icon, interesting. npm. Oh, right. We already have the server running here, so I'll just kill this, and npm run dev. I have that habit of opening several terminals when I forget.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
So we got that object, that nice object there. Love that. Love that for us. Where were we? Okay, so here. Nope. Yep. Let's go. Prismic rich text. Let's try it. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's really interesting. We will find out. We're gonna find out right now. So, Prismic rich text field intro text.
Yes. I'm kind of scared now. I don't know what it's gonna do.
Reading use content.
Oh, there's a provider, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Yeah. So, but I thought it was optional.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I guess not.
Because you'll probably have to slap a provider in line. or something, because it's not the
Yeah.
same kind of world.
Yeah, interesting. Prismic provider. I
Funny.
thought it would be
Yeah.
optional, but so Preact has use context, right? Like that's allowed there.
I think so.
Do you have to go in a minute? Is that what?
Oh, right. I have my own stream,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna like grab a sandwich and probably keep the starting soon screen up for like 10 to 15 minutes and start at
Okay.
2:15.
I'll keep
So
streaming
I'm in no
here.
rush because I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna be I can be an after party for anyone who wants to keep hearing my voice for some reason.
I think
But
everyone.
I'm
does.
down to just keep going.
I think everyone does. This is interesting though. So using React context, right? We'll receive the specified options as defaults. I'm surprised that it will require the provider. It doesn't say
Yeah, since it
dependencies and requirements. Actually, raid Ben and join Ben. Oh, like I go on his? Yeah. That would be absolutely perfect. And then
I can't
put on
support
my
guest
helmet.
right now.
Yeah.
I haven't set it up.
That's V2.
Sorry.
The package will only be in a React project. Interesting. Okay. Shoot.
Well,
So
because you can't server render a provider, I would say don't do it.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
Oh no.
I was hopeful.
Yeah, I get it. Interesting that these are taking over or something. Where like I should be getting TypeScript definitions for Prismic rich text here. At least that's my understanding, right? Like these are pretty well typed. But I don't know if the plugin is overriding.
Oh, you don't get your props.
Yeah, like I'm not sure.
Well, are there other props? Like if you delete field, does it at least autocomplete field?
That's a good question.
Type field? Yeah, you might be right. Huh.
Yeah, might be wiping
Well
those
then.
out.
Yeah, I think
right.
we have like view type definition supported, maybe not JSX.
Interesting.
Or at least not JSX from an npm package. I'd have to look to see.
Object use context, use Prismic context.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's something that we can fix, or maybe it's a deep need. So I'm not sure. Like maybe it's just so we never tried it like that. So back to
this feels like a Prismic Astro integration waiting to happen, because I think we'll have to do it some other way that's contextless.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And see what we can do.
For sure.
Because you can do global stores in Astro. You can, just not the same way. Yes, there's some spicy ways to do it, and we won't get into them. But
you can't do that. You can't. Oh,
yeah, it was just a community member that hacked something together, and they're like, "Oh, it was so easy to put together. I don't think it deserves a library." And I was like, "No one knows how to do this. Let's make it an official library."
Oh my god, yes, please.
So, yeah, it'll be like if you want to share state between a Svelte component and a React component, it works. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Wild. Yeah. Oh, it's coming.
Oh my, that's amazing.
And it's so easy. The source code is like, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Let me just pop this in here. I just want to see if we can get this rich text rendered as something first. Intro text, and then H1 title. Is that working? Will it work?
Love it.
Okay. We're gonna have to put it like Yeah, see, that's where it's tricky. Is there a safe HTML thing? No, that's not it. Unescaped HTML. I don't know. Set HTML to avoid a wrapper element. No, I don't know. How do I do this, Ben? Help.
That is how you do it.
This?
That is it.
Oh, cool. Okay, but so got it. So div.
Yep.
Oh, it ate it. Okay, HTML equals. Nope. And then can I just self close that div? Yeah, JSX is awesome. Nice. All right. There's no rich formatting because there's nothing on there, but that's doing what we expected.
Yep.
Nice.
I
All
assume you
right.
might have been like speed reading because we're on stream, but it did mention that you can use the word fragment if you don't want a div. So
Cool. Okay. That is, yeah, that's exactly what I want. Thank you for that. Is it just me? I I don't always when I'm double clicking stuff, it seems to select it all or no. Yeah.
oh, interesting. It selects
I'm
the
just trying to
code.
select SAS and like I'm so some people do the thing where you select a little bit and it selects all of it, but with the double click it's doing all of it, which is this could be a feature
Oh,
for
it
me.
selects
I'm
the
just like
code block instead of the word. I don't know if that's an HTML thing.
I'm not
I don't
sure
know.
either. I don't know.
I'm really not
Anyway,
sure.
buddy, I don't want to keep you any longer than you want to stay. That's apparently illegal, and I don't want to get in trouble for it. My probation isn't over yet. So
Um, that's a
I
bummer. Yeah.
I really appreciate you sitting down with me and helping me bring Frontend Horse over to Astro. This has been a absolute blast. Thanks for letting me name the Astro Zone. That feels really cool and right. So I'm
Yeah.
happy about it.
So I've messaged the legal team. We
Okay.
are, we have a patent in process
Okay.
and also a trademark.
I mean,
I'm not sure why we need the patent,
I
but
don't respond to cease and desists. So I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna keep
got it.
calling it the meat zone or whatever we're calling it. But
Oh, the meaty zone.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a
Jason,
safe
hold
name.
on. We just started talking about that. Jason Langsdorff just raided with a whole bunch of people. Jason, thank you so much for the raid. We were just working with a little bit of Astro. Ben, you mind hanging for a couple more seconds?
Oh, yes.
Cool.
Let's hang.
Yeah. So we were just building with Astro, which works wonderfully on Netlify, by the way. That's where we're going to launch this too. We were actually talking earlier about how we got SSR on Netlify with edge functions, which is pretty cool. We were kind of chatting about that. But yeah, bringing over Frontend Horse to Astro, because it's currently on Gatsby, sliding it over and benefiting from lots of really nice patterns with Astro. I don't know. I greatly enjoy it. It's going to be my third Astro site. I'm going to collect lots of little Astro sites, I think. And then I have my own solar system, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, you
Okay.
get to buy a star. Like every
Community idea.
yeah.
Community idea. Instead of me just having a thing where I, like say like, hey, Alex is part of the community, and these are like the 5 sites he's built, and like having them in like a grid gallery. Instead, it's like a solar system, and like I start out like my first site is my sun, or I get to choose which one's my sun, and then out there. I mean, Ben, when are you gonna hire me for the marketing and all the big brain marketing stuff? When
Oh, just when you come in right now and say it.
yeah,
All right.
have them give me a call. That's all I'm saying. But I've got great ideas, lots of them.
Yeah. Super flexible, but you demand a job. Got it. Perfect.
Soon,
I'll let them know.
no.
Soon.
But
Yeah, no rush.
This was great, and I would you're welcome to come back on any time, especially once I start hitting some actual or some bugs that I can't figure out. So I'll be calling you back maybe tomorrow. Cool.
Yep. Same time tomorrow. Same time tomorrow.
Absolutely. No, but
I'll
thank
just
you so
hop
much,
in.
man. I genuinely appreciate your time, and you were going to be streaming. So are you putting yourself up live, or how do you
I
do
am
this?
live right now.
You're live right now. You are a smart man.
I am.
I can't believe your computer can handle all this. But all right, so
Yeah, it's a MacBook Air and it works.
We're gonna go find somebody to raid. But Ben's gonna be streaming in just a few minutes. He's gonna grab a quick snack, and then I assume Astro stream.
Yeah, Astro and not Prismic. We are continuing our contentful journey.
Cool.
So trying to make it easier with some integrations. It'll be fun.
I'm excited to see what you do there, because then we can steal it and make the Prismic integration.
It'll be like the same kind of approach for everyone. That's the thinking.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks to everybody for hanging out. Really appreciate the Astro team being here, and Jason for raiding, Ben for raiding, all the goodness out there. So I'm gonna raid you now, Ben Holmes, and we will see. Actually, you're not coming up on my list. B Holmes.
Oh, funny. Am I live?
There we go.
Oh, I am? Okay.
You are. Yep.
I wasn't sure.
All right. So yeah, we'll see you over there in just a couple minutes. Thanks, folks. Have a great day. We'll see you later.
Yeah, have a good one, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Bye.